If you have just joined us, welcome along to the beach here in Lignano, the North Adriatic coast of Italy. Now, if you don't know where we are, if you imagine the boot of Italy, follow it up the left-hand side, and it curls around at the top where the Adriatic coast blends from Italy to Slovenia. We're just before the border with Slovenia, and over to our left as we look out to sea. Down the right-hand side of the Adriatic, we could see the Venetian lagoon and Venice, and down that coast. And then over to our left, a bit closer, we can see the Slovenian coast. But today, unfortunately, it's a bit hazy, a bit hazy, and we can't quite make those coastlines out. So we're going to be seeing USA Masters versus GB Masters. The GB Beach Masters team, not quite the same team as completely dominated the European Championships on grass in Maribor in Slovenia. It's only about 2 hours away from Maribor, where we are now, maybe 2.5 hours by car. So we're not a million miles away from the European Championships venue, but a very, very different vibe for this week. Very much more relaxed, very much more fun, I would say, and a lot hotter. I think Maribor suffered at a couple of occasions with some fairly heavy rainstorms. We're yet to see a single cloud, and I think, to be honest, an overcast afternoon and some temperature taken out of the air and the sand would be appreciated by many of the players down here, really suffering with the heat, but they've tried to adapt as best they can. Hydration regime is obviously important, and making sure that you and your team take plenty of water on. We're seeing the USA Masters side lineup. Now, the player to watch for, which we saw last night, was player 77. That's Kelly Swirin. And we're joined... Oh, do you want to step up here, Randy?
Okay.
So you're in the shade.
Sure, thank you. So it's going back to England, huh?
It's going all over the
the whole
internet.
tournament. Oh, great.
All over the internet.
Awesome.
Yeah, Rob. You want to get yourself so you can see and stand and just
Yeah.
step forward, but not obscure the camera to your left.
Oh, yes. Sorry about that.
So this is Sean. This is Randy.
Hi, Sean.
Tushar is doing our technical stuff.
Okay.
Rose is helping Tushar.
Okay.
So I've been joined in the commentary area by Randy Ricks, a USA Grandmaster, and just beat the French there, Randy.
No, I'm sorry, I don't. I don't speak French.
No, but did you just beat the French?
Oh, yes, we beat the French. We did beat the French.
And how are you finding it out here on this Italian sand?
Well, right now the sand is very, very hot, so I think you'll see all the players wearing the sand socks this game. If you play the early morning game or later in the evening, it's not as hot. But this game, you'll see everybody wearing the socks because the sand is very hot.
Okay, so the play's underway. The Adriano Vitelli in the corner of the pitch makes a nice pass across to Villi. Steve Giguere now with the disc, number 29 on his back. And he's looking to reset. The 277 players marking. Villi's going to get this one. He had to bid hard for that one, but just a little bit too far for him.
Yeah, he made a nice layout, but it was thrown a little bit too far. Most of these players have some difficulty adjusting from playing grass ultimate on cleats. And the pass that you would normally make on the grass pitch, the guy's not as fast. So many of the long passes are too long because of that.
We saw the...
Randy? Don't have the mic as close to you.
Yeah, sure. So we saw USA Masters last night demolishing Canada. They send a big disc. Kelly Swirin is going to go chasing that down. He's going to have to bid hard for this. He does. A little bit too much, even for Kelly to get there. But he didn't give up. He really had a good crack at that one. And I think we're going to see that deep shot to Kelly quite a lot today. He was a dominant force against Canada last night. And we're just trying to squeeze everyone into this commentary position up here. You don't want to step on that because that'll be hot, won't it?
Real flat, Ryan, real flat.
Is that okay? I'm trying to adjust, and Vito again makes a nice pass. Giguere once more. Lefty cutting. It's going to send it deep again. As Vili again trying to chase it down. He's going to be under a lot of pressure from the American, and the American climbs over the top of him. Beautiful D from number 7 there. And I think is Vili calling that? It was a little bit of a horse, but what was your take on that, Randy?
Well, he read the disc. The American player read the disc well, and I would say in his favor he read the disc well, but I think he was over his back, and he could have called a foul, but he's calling it off. I think that's the right call. It was a floating pass. They both had a good chance, and he actually stayed with it longer and read it and knocked it down. So I think the no call was the right call there.
And it's nice to see sort of foul calls retracted in such a nice manner there.
Yes, it is. Good spirit.
Quite often you see at these sort of high-pressure, big world events that once a foul call's been made, it's very rarely retracted. So nice to see that. And Mark Greenhalgh just going to the floor there. A bit of a match-up. The 277 players matching up against each other. Kelly Swearin and Mark Greenhalgh there. But I think it was Kelly just running through Lefty there. And USA moving the disc around the back.
Nice, Ben. Finish the calendar.
Swearin. It's gone deep. Vito chasing this down, but the USA have got jump in and they score that one. And we're starting to see the difference in pace there between the USA team and Great Britain. No pressure on that disc into the end zone.
That's right. There was not much of a mark. He allowed the backhand to go, and he floated it just right. And it was a pretty easy goal for the Americans.
It's number 7. Let's see if we can glance a look at his back. All the Americans do have their names on the back of their shirts, but sometimes a little bit difficult to make out. So if you are watching us, thank you very much for joining us. We're broadcasting this lunchtime game all week, and we also have the big finals. We're hopeful to be able to stream those. We are working through some technical difficulties we've had from the beach arena. But we'll be broadcasting again tonight. So if you are able to watch this game, please do drop us an email just to help us out with solving our technical issues. Let us know how you got on with the stream. I'd just like to introduce ourselves if you've just joined us. My name is Tom Stiles, and I'm joined in the commentary box by USA Grandmaster.
I'm Randy Ricks, co-captain of the USA Grandmasters team.
It's very useful to have some American perspective on this game. And the USA take a 1-0 lead. This goes, that's a great pull right into the back corner. And Ben Haywood there picks up, having not read the disc, and he snaps that out. It was a hard cutting from Great Britain, but it had to be. And it's a fumble, a drop there, and it's USA just poking it in. His foot was on the tape as he caught it, and Paul Holden had completely forgotten how to mark there. He was miles away from his man, and floats just into the end zone. It's they make it look so easy when these guys get it going.
It was interesting how John Sandell said, stay there. The man was wide open in the corner, and he just said, stay there, and then he threw it to him, and then the man was on the line, not quite in, so they had to dump it back to John, and then he threw another jamming in the corner, is how we like to call it, but it works, but it's not quite as high percentage as throwing from the middle of the field when you throw from corner to corner like that.
We've seen Sandell, is that number 12?
He has the disc.
Here's the disc. Oh, okay, so number 16. He's had some pretty high stats so far.
He's a very good player. He's actually, I believe he's in charge of the coaching for the USA Ultimate. So he has a position of responsibility as a coach, developing teams and developing coaches. And he plays for this Masters team, Surly, in Minnesota. Very strong player. And
they were competing at Worlds in Prague only last year. I think they made it to the final. I can't remember if they
lost in the final to Troubled Past. But Surly is a team that just won the USA Ultimate Masters Championship the last 2 years, and they're definitely adding younger players and getting better, and they'll be the favorite to win the Masters US Championship again this fall.
So Vili, number 7,
Now, so I'll just go and grab it.
with the disc for Great Britain in this Masters game against the USA. And looks for a pass over the top. The USA creating so much pressure, but does manage to find it to Bruno. He's looking for a fake. Just look at the agility of the USA. And Vili has to grab high to keep that one in. Swings to the middle again. 31 with the disc. Into the beautiful disc, just a little bit too close to the American player.
That's the Major Ben Tealhorn with the layout in the end zone.
Major Ben?
Major, he's a major in the Air Force, retired major, believe it or not. He used to live in Colorado. He used to live in Colorado Springs, and he used to get the fields at the Air Force Academy for Ultimate, which was nice. But now that he's not there anymore, we can't get those fields.
Major Tealhorn certainly flying there.
Yes, flying like an Air Force cadet.
So the USA, Sando looking deep now. Tony Leonardo cutting deep over the top. Nice disc to number 6, Maroon, and Revel. Sandal chasing it down into the corner. Nice grab. So on defense, on O, the Great Britain seem to be making a few passes, but not making enough connections to make it happen. But on defense, it just seems to have nothing against this American side.
Well, I think that's a fair point. This American team is very athletic. They really selected a very good team. They're fast, they're tall, and they're good disc handlers. And, I think it's a very tough game for Great Britain to run with them, to stay up with them physically. And unfortunately, they don't have the disc skills as well developed either, so they're struggling to score a goal.
I got a finger on it.
As, of all these teams at the Masters level, the Masters and Grandmasters, have these been selected from players applying from all over the country?
I can't speak for the rest of the nations, but I know in the United States, the Association USA Ultimate did. I think this is the first year that they really sanctioned and became part of the beach as a new division. They added beach as a new division, and so they had a very rigorous selection process where they first decided on who their 2 co-captains would be for each team of the 6 teams, and then the 2 co-captains were involved in selecting the team, and they had many resumes submitted. Many players from all around the United States were applied, and then they had to weed them down and select who they thought would represent our country and the association with class, and make sure that the character was a very important issue, because the U.S. is a sport where Ultimate was founded, and they've been dominant, but they don't want to. They realize that some of the other countries might think the USA is not spirited or whatever, and so they wanted to really make sure that they would pick people with strong character that would really represent the country and the association and the game.
Okay, so that's really interesting. And just during that point, as we were hearing from Randy about the USA setup, we saw a very sort of a poachy, almost a zone type affair, pinning the Great Britain back into their own end zone, and the hammer across pitch was picked out by a very aggressive, very alert defender, and they make a quick score, and they push the score out to 4-0. This is a demonstration game from the USA so far, and we'll see Vito catches now. Steve Giguere. Again, we see this poachy zone, and it's a Steve Giguere classic there, sort of scuba over the top, and Giguere's in behind, floats over the top to number 16, back to Lefty, player trying to cut up the line. We see this, is this American defense something you've seen before, Randy?
I haven't seen that particular zone at the beach so far. I'm new to the beach game, but that was an effective zone. I think they're practicing it, and they did get the turnover off of that.
Extant.
Brian.
And it's Wilkin chasing it down. He's going to grab that toe in. Beautiful grab there. Gone to the sand. Back to Alex de Frontville. Extant. Back to Kassenbach. Oh, nice. Scuba over the top. Beautiful. Kassenbach making it look so easy. Yeah, just going back to what you were saying about wanting to represent the character of the sport there, Randy. From an outsider's point of view, I would say that the way the USA is regarded is not necessarily unspirited, but just that the level of play and the level of aggression that is accepted in the USA is different to the level of aggression which is accepted elsewhere. Anyway, we see the Great Britain going to be doing a timeout here. We've got the camera on these guys, and I don't know what they're doing, but they did ask us to pay attention when the timeout was called. I don't know if they're just having a chat about the game. They're 5-0 down against this USA team. I think their ambition coming into this game was to get a couple of points on the board. They'd be happy with 2, but so far no chance of that. The USA, certainly when they get onto their offensive, are very, very aggressive, and the defence has got no holes in it and causing them all sorts of problems.
You know, I'd like to go back to your point about the. You said it's very difficult to put it in words, but I think you said it very well. That I did not mean to suggest that the U.S. was unspirited in any way, but maybe aggressive. I think that's the way you worded it is more accurate. It's maybe sometimes their demeanor, being competitive, could be perceived as unspirited. But no, I think the way you said it is perfect. It's not that the majority of players who play Ultimate all over the world were spirited. That's the beauty of Ultimate. And my point was just that in the selection committee of the USA Ultimate, when first they picked the 2 team captains, and then the players, they just wanted to make sure that the element of spirit was very high in all of the players, because coming to Italy, they were really representing the U.S. in front of the world, and they wanted to play hard and play clean, and I think that's really happening. It's been a tremendous tournament, and there's been tremendous spirit from every team, and there's really no bad apples here in this whole tournament out of over 1,100 players that I've seen. I haven't seen anything unspirited. It says a lot about the game.
It very much does so, and it's nice at a world event where you've got lots of competition, lots of very high-level play, but that's still the case and remains the case. But good to hear I think everyone's been impressed with the USA setup, how many teams they've sent over here, and the standard of the players they've managed to get onto the beach. So, beautiful! The disc was almost perfection. It almost took out the back cone and the back of the end zone, and Vili now, the number 7 for Great Britain. Brings the disc up and tries to find the brick mark, 10 metres in.
U.S. is back in a man-to-man here. They're not going to try that clam zone again.
Tealhorn marking. And
3-2 offense.
It's got 4 handlers at the moment, no cuts. It has to dump back to Vili, to Haywood. Haywood looking down the line. Back to Bruno. Bruno's looking deep, finds Vili again. Space in the end zone. Come on, Great Britain's going to get this one. No, just a little bit too much. That was the first time we've actually seen Great Britain string together a nice set of passes and get so close to scoring there.
It looked like they might score there, and we were kind of pulling for them because it's 5-0. But he got a little anxious. He threw a blind pass. He threw the pass to space, and the receiver did pick up on it, but he threw it just a little too far. And the patience is so key in the beach game, even more so than on the grass. The patience, and so you really have to have eye contact with your receiver, and because it's just the beach game favors the offense even more than the game on grass.
And we saw a very high-paced GB attack there. Perhaps not the most comfortable way of playing the game, but Tealhorn. And lays a disc down to Swirin. USA moving the disc sweetly to the middle of the pitch. All sorts of options, left, right, back. He uses Tilhorn back, floating disc. It's going to be Swirin. Swirin looks at that disc and not quite the same sort of electric pace he had in the cool evening last night under the lights, and doesn't quite make it to that disc. Ben Hayward picks it up for Great Britain, and
Real flat, Cal. Step
we're
right, Cal. Step
to
right.
see pressure Villy.
Good mark, good mark.
Good players, these Great Britain players, but they made it to look quite ordinary in front of the USA team. Far side of the pitch now. Oh, just telegraphed that disc very clearly. And Hills puts it up into space. Swirin's the target man, and he brings it down. Beautiful work. But a mistake from Great Britain there, just telegraphing the pass very early. Made it a bit too easy for Tilhorn just to predict and intercept.
Yep, he got it back. He had the turnover on the forehand, but he was able to get it back on D, which is always, if you throw one away, you always want to get it back on D. And if the same player who threw it away gets it back, it's a bit of redemption.
Nice work, White. Nice work, White.
So I hope you're enjoying our coverage from the beaches of Lignano Sabbia d'Oro here in Italy. It is another hot day, no clouds in sight, bit of haze across the Adriatic. The umbrellas of the beaches, not quite as packed as they were on Saturday. The Italians and the local community coming down and enjoying the beach in their mass ranks over the weekend. Quieting down a little bit since then, but people that are braving the midday sun are enjoying a bit of a demonstration of how to play the game from this USA Masters side. And I think even though they're a Masters side, they'd probably give a fair few teams in the Open division a good run for their money, Randy.
Oh, you know, the beach definitely neutralizes a lot of speed. And I saw the game against USA Masters and USA Canada last night as you broadcasted. And I made the same comment. I think this USA Masters team could probably compete very strongly in the Open division because they have, the older a player gets, generally the better throws they get. And because of the cutting in the beach neutralizes a lot of the really quick speed. This team is very experienced in their throwing and how to make cuts and how to get into a flow. And although I haven't seen too many of the Open games, I would suspect that you're totally right that this USA Masters team would be very competitive in the Open division, be in the top tier if they were in the Open division. So.
We see another nice play there. Bolch throwing the assist into the corner, and USA seemingly able to take the disc off Great Britain at will and score very efficiently when they do have it.
Time for Great Britain to get a point here.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? I think
demoralizing when you fall behind, and it's a tough position when you're the team. Like in our last game, we beat France 13-1, and you always want to play your hardest because you don't want the other team to think, oh, you're not trying, you're giving us a sympathy point or whatever. But on the other hand, everyone's come a long way here, and it's demoralizing if you get shut out. So it would be great for Great Britain to score a point here, just to give them something positive to take away from this.
So we see Tony Leonardo, a tall figure at the end of the beach, number 28. If you're watching, wherever you're watching, you're enjoying the coverage, you can communicate with us if you'd like. Anything with the hashtag #WCBU2011. You can also email us, show@BlockstackTV, and we'd appreciate it if you do let us know you're watching and let us know how the connection and the stream was for you. And Vitali sends the disc line. Leonardo's chasing it down. It's a little bit beyond Bruno for Great Britain. It's not a bad disc there from Vitali, but you did think that Leonardo was probably going to get there first, even if it had been floated enough. And we see maroon for USA now, the number 6 shirt, going to fetch the disc.
The team just won the Grandmasters National Championship in the United States held in Ohio.
He's old enough to play Grand. In fact, quite a few of these players are old enough to play Grandmasters, aren't they?
Yep, and his teammate, number 25, Trey Katzenbach, also who's on the winning team of the USA Grandmasters. I believe they're just barely old enough. I believe Trey is 39. And, they're both very young for Grandmasters, but playing quite well for this Masters team. You see a lot of players that go between Grandmasters and Masters, especially now.
Kassenbach looks like he's about 18 with that, physique. He's got he looks like he's never given up training and being fit and athletic.
Yes, he caught a lot of goals in the USA Grandmasters championship game and throughout that whole tournament. They tell me he's a pediatrician in Philadelphia, and he was on the cover of the magazine there, so I think he has great looks and very popular, and it looks like he has the world on his strings. Great ultimate player.
See Leonardo moving the disc now with USA down the far side of the pitch. It's a nice disc. It's going to be floating nicely for Maroon. Maroon's going to have to make the go to the ground. So close.
Nice layout.
Really did get some foot speed going there, but not quite enough. The disc is a little bit beyond him. And when you're running flat out for that disc, you can see it hovering and dying in front of you. Such a frustrating thing not to be able to make the grab, and such a glorious thing when you do. The USA giving the disc back to Great Britain. It's probably the first or second time in the game that GB have had more than one bite of the offense cherry. But again, we see this poachy zone from the USA, but Vito manages to get the disc out to Lefty. Lefty's looking down the line. Bruno back to Villy, sends it. He's got a lot of space. It's going to be number... and there's a big old chair at the back of the end zone, and Lefty's lucky to avoid smashing his face into it. I hope he's all right. I think he was looking at the disc all the way down there, and then suddenly caught the chair from his peripheral and pulled up pretty sharply. Had to go to the sand to stop himself, but he wasn't... I don't know if he's discussing whether he would have had a
He's
bid.
waving his hands. He's not going to make a call. It's a good spirit because
This was out the back uncatchable.
Don't forget, we're going to be live from the Beach Arena tonight. The game is going to be, well, tell you what, check out WCBU2011.org for all the details of when the next game is going to be. We're having a little bit of swapsies with the schedule, and I think we're probably going to move the evening game back to 10 o'clock, but I haven't had confirmation of that, so check the details of the website. It's either going to be 9:15 or it might be 10 o'clock. Do check online. And space is going to be Lars chasing that disc down. He gets double-handed grab to keep it alive. Leonardo sprinting in the end zone. And Leonardo does collect there. Beautiful work, but it was Lars making up for a missed throw. He read it well. He got lots of shouts and encouragement from the sideline, but he really needs to get down hard and fast on that one.
You don't see too many times people lay out with the two-hand pancake. Normally they lay out and dive and catch it with one hand, but he laid out and got two on it with the pancake catch and still made a clean catch before it hit the sand. So very nice catch.
Nice work from Lars there. He's just giving us the smile.
You can just say Paranello.
Everyone calls him Lars because no one can pronounce his second name.
He's probably used to that.
Any name that starts FJ, I'm going to call him by his first name. Thank you very much. So yeah, please do tune in this evening. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage you've been able to get from us this lunchtime. We've seen the Masters Division pool match between USA and Great Britain. Great Britain still not on the scoreboard, and the USA 8 points to the good. We saw USA demolish Canada in the show game last night under the lights. And the disc flies high and deep. And it's Steve Giguere with the disc. Paul Holden. Steve Giguere again, cutting nicely. Back to Mark Stanmore, back to Paul Holden again. Steve Giguere squeezes a bit too hard, it flies through his hands. And it's Paranella now. Oh, no, so it's de Fronville now. Just a clever little quick pass to Hills. But a mistake from Giguere costing GB dearly there. There were nice few passes in that offense, but the USA are making them play a very, very rapid offensive line, and any mistakes in that are going to be punished severely by them.
No, it's Josh. Are you Josh?
So Steve Giguere is just going to come up and say hello to us in the commentary box. Steve, squeezed a bit too hard on that one.
That's my first job of the tournament. Did it in style, on camera, for the world.
It's very impressive, Steve. These guys playing very, very hard, and GB having to put on a very, very aggressive, fast offense to try and compensate.
I think energy-wise, we're trying to raise our level a little bit like with Canada yesterday, and we're just we're a little more tired, and it's resulting in miscommunications. Too much adrenaline, so throwing a little too far, and well, they're just better.
Oh, at the end of the day, Steve, they are a lot better.
Let's go, GB!
Haywood and Vili making a nice 1-2 through the zone. Floats into the end zone. Ben Peake chasing this down. Could this be? It's a grab just shy of the end zone now. The USA defense arrives in force. It's going to be jabbing it through. Lifts it back to Haywood. Haywood's in the number 12 shirt. Vili charging his way through. A strong American challenge. Floats over the top. A terrible throwaway from Haywood, and Hills had his hands in the air. Not sure what he was signalling there. But having done all the hard work to get it down there, the Peake making that great cut deep, and the disc from Vili picking him out. It was a shame that disc eventually gets turned over.
Time. Go, Josh.
Keep talking, Ho. Keep talking.
Right, go, Josh. That's it, Josh. Attack it.
Katzenbach looking for a shot down the line. Finds Johnson. Johnson's found spaces. Look at that throw. Nice and floaty. So easy for the USA and against this Great Britain side.
Thanks, Rob. Let's go, GB. Let's go!
This Great Britain side being taken to pieces. One throw, one D, one offensive point at a time by the USA Masters team. And good to see from the Great Britain and the USA, both nations providing 6 teams, one in every division, which is great to see. And I think with the Canadians, the Canadians provided a team for every division here? No.
Only Open Women's and
Open Women's and Masters. Okay, so I think these are probably the only 2 teams that have... Germany got one in every division. And France have got one in every division as well, haven't they? Austria, perhaps?
Did Ricky call himself on?
But certainly USA and Great Britain with representing in every division. So basically, if you look down the Grand Masters division, the teams that are in there have got teams in all the other divisions as well. But Tony Leonardo, the 28 shirt, sends that disc, and it's going to float. Oh, it's just got a little bit of OI on it. It wasn't, sorry, IO on it. They didn't want that at all. And it flies, assisted by the wind. And the wind,
Tony, the field's over there.
As strong as it has been at lunchtime the last couple of days. We've had some nice, had a nice breeze blowing through us.
Yeah, Tony.
At this time of the day, which has just helped keep the temperature down.
Yeah, it was over my head.
Today that breeze has died a little. It's quite stifling, the heat. And if you're in the sunshine and then doing some physical exercise as well, can't imagine how tough and physical it is. So that error from Leonardo giving
Ricky, you know the rules.
Vito a good opportunity to bring the disc right up the pitch with his cycling cap on his head, and Ekstat, the 00 player from the USA, with the marks under his eyes, finds lefty, floats one in, and the Great Britain team celebrate. Nice disc from Vito. Picture vision from some of the fans, and Great Britain get a point on the board at long last. It's 10-1. In fact, I think the scorers are so used to putting the score on the USA's team that should actually be 9-1. It is 10-1. It is 10-1.
It was 10-0. Well, it's good that Great Britain got a goal. because they're working hard. They're playing against a team that has much more experience, and they're working as hard as they can. And like I say, even just not to get shut out is something. It's good that they score. Maybe they'll get another one.
The other side's got it.
You guys covering one game a day? Is that the schedule, or more than one game a day?
We're trying to cover the lunchtime game here, and we covered the opening ceremony, and we covered the first game from here. So the first 2 days was just one game. From now on, there's two, and then on the Friday and Saturday, we're covering all the finals. So that's going to be 3 games on the Friday and 3 games on the Saturday. And so we might be commentating on Randy's game.
They don't cover any Grandmasters games during the week. The only chance a Grandmasters team has of being on TV is making the finals. So believe me, one of my teammates let it be known that he was not happy about that. The old guys probably aren't that important.
Kassenbach picks the disc out from a long pass from de Fronville back to Paranella now. The USA Master advancing again back to de Fronville. Kassenbach now looking for options. He's going to go to the hammer over the top. There's only one. That's perfect disc from Kassenbach through the force of Ben Peak, and as it's
that's John Sandell.
John Sandell, sorry, forgot his name there. Number 16 with the headband. He was free.
I've already given you some scrap of love. Nice pass, Trey.
So nice disc over to John Sandell. Hanging around the back again, so he's making himself available, and the hammer from Kassenbach picking him out perfectly. So it's 11-1 is the score. USA Masters dominating this one and putting pressure on Great Britain at all opportunities. The offense from Great Britain has not been clinical enough. The defense from USA has been very aggressive and very, very high-paced. I think it's the pace of these athletes from the USA which is the Great Britain have struggled to live with the most. And their clinical offense, when they do get the disc, it has meant very, very quick scoring once the turnover comes, and they've been coming readily at the moment. So Vili has his hand in the air for Great Britain. The disc is high and not quite as deep as he probably would have liked there. It was a Revel with the pull, and Vili back to Haywood. Haywood looking for Vili again. He's going to have to find Bruno. Bruno revels there straight away, putting the pressure on. Vili with another great cut and making himself free. Swing right across to Holden. Holden not got any options deep. Haywood cutting back for a dump, with Leonardo waving his hands and looking at the disc straight away. Holden now, disc down the line to Vili and has to go to his knees, and straight away USA advancing. Revel looking for Leonardo, floats the disc perfectly. Leonardo stretches his long limbs and grabs that one. Big stride, and the 28 player raises his hands in celebration, and they move the score out to 12-1. And they're 1 point away from the win in this pooled game in the Masters division. So if you've been able to watch this and you've enjoyed commentary from myself, Tom Stiles, and my co-commentator, Randy Ricks.
That's right, Tom. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to join you, and you guys are doing a great job. It's great to see Ultimate stream to all the fans around the world who couldn't be here. I've watched quite a bit of streaming Ultimate myself, and it's really impressive. We're taking a step in the right direction for sure.
It's good of you to say so, Randy. So if you have enjoyed our coverage out here, do drop us an email. We'd appreciate that. show@blockstack.tv is our email address.
See, one of our crew is a Green Bay Packers fan as well.
Sean Colfer is on the camera today. He's been on the camera for all the games that we've been covering so far.
Well, I want him to know that I'm a season ticket holder for the Denver Broncos, and my cousin in Madison, Wisconsin has told me to the Broncos play in Green Bay on October 2nd, and I have a chance, or October 3rd, and I have a chance to see my first game in Lambeau, and I might have to take him up on that.
So Sean's never seen a single American football game with his team. You haven't seen a single one, no, but...
You come to Denver, you can go with me to a game.
Well, there's an invitation. Randy inviting Sean to go and watch a football game with him. Steve Jiguet for Great Britain now. Pressure from Eckhart. Disc was low percentage, and Eckhart is going to score this one. Sextat puts it in, and USA Masters team have done a demolition job on Great Britain. Seemingly no answer from the team in blue for the fast-paced defence and the clinical offence of this Masters side from the other side of the Atlantic. And the team shake hands. I'd like to thank our technical team putting this one together. We've had Tushar Singh and Rose doing the technical bits, pressing the buttons and making sure that our internet stream goes up and stays up. And we've had Sean Colfer working the camera, and you've been listening to myself, Tom Stiles, and my co-commentator Randy Ricks from the USA Grandmasters team. And hopefully, Randy, we're going to be seeing you in your own final later in the week.
We sure hope so. We haven't lost a game yet, and we're hoping to be in that gold medal game, and it's looking like it's going to be us in Austria, but you never know. So it'll be fun. Hopefully we'll get to be there.
So we'll be back on the air this evening under the floodlights of the City Arena, the Discraft Arena in the centre of Lignano. As the teams wander off to find some shade, we're going to leave you and hope that you can join us again later in the day. So until then, goodbye, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thank you, Tom. Enjoyed it. No, the offer stands. You come to Denver, I'll take you to a football game.
Hey, I love it.
Where do you live? England?